at the end of the date, I kissed her outside her apartment, and she goes, "Oh, can we go in my little hallway? I don't want my Asian neighbors to see us." And I was like, I didn't like, you know how you hear something and you don't register it, but then we get back in the hallway and I kissed her again, and I'm thinking the whole time, I'm like, why did she say Asian? Hey, Sean.
Hey, Ray, I have a question for you.
I know.
The holiday's coming. Can you age out of fireworks? Can you do it?
I have aged out of fireworks.
Yeah.
I went to a fireworks show. Dude, here's my thing. I went to a fireworks show with my girlfriend at Astoria Park. Very nice. I like everything about it but the actual fireworks. I like hanging out. We had some drinks on a blanket, some food, and it was like that was a good time. It was like a picnic almost. But then the fireworks come, and here's what I can't stand. Everybody is filming the fireworks.
Yeah.
So when I see anybody around me filming the fireworks, I would say stuff for their video to kind of ruin their video. I kept going, that's it. It's inspired me. I'm enlisting tomorrow. I'm enlisted in the Marines tomorrow. Or I kept going, whoa. Oh, dude, this is better than last year. They had 16 blue sparkly shimmers in a row. You don't get that from just a regular fireworks show.
Here's the thing. So you've aged out of fireworks, but not being a pain in the ass of fireworks shows.
100%. Dude, every time I would see this lady right in front of me, every time her camera went on to film, and she started realizing what I was doing, I think, because I kept going, oh, man, this is better than last year. Baby, this is better than last year. And I kept doing it. Natalie's like I was getting her a couple times, like hard laughing. And then she realized what I was doing. She's like, every time. She's like, just let him get the video. You know?
Yeah. Let him get the video.
I didn't
let him get a little bit of the video.
Nope.
But I will say this. The only way I haven't aged out is for New Year's Eve, I was in Las Vegas. I worked at Tropicana, the Laugh Factory in Tropicana, which is a really good club. And right before I started that week, I was already there because I worked cellar. So I went with another comic to they had the way it is, you can go down the back stairs and watch the fireworks on the strip.
Yeah.
And right outside the Tropicana, right? Whatever. There wasn't that packed out there. Like, people were lined up in the streets, but this little area where we were, like, either people weren't allowed in it or whatever it was. You had to be, like, in the hotel or whatever. Anyway, I will say this. I thought I was done with fireworks and then saw those and was like, holy shit, this is amazing. But here's the thing. The level of firework was so much. Even you would have been like, okay, that's actually pretty impressive.
No, I actually wouldn't have, because I witnessed the greatest fireworks show in North America.
What's it? Where?
Thunder over Louisville. It's the best fireworks show in North America.
And you still weren't like
that ripped. It was really good.
Are you trying to one up me? I just told you.
I mean, I just love that you're trying to say you asked this question without even knowing my full firework background. That I went. It's how they kick off the Kentucky Derby festivities. 2 weeks before the Derby, they have Thunder over Louisville, and it's one of the best tailgates I've ever been to in my life.
I was gonna say they can't do it day of because they'll just fuck up the horses.
Yeah.
You think dogs under a couch is a problem? Horses not running a famous race is another problem. Well, I'll say this. What I meant more with fireworks was I'm not going out to seek. There's people probably still my age that go and drive 3 states over so they can go grab M80s and whatever else and bring it back for personal fireworks.
I thought you were talking about fireworks shows.
No, even fireworks shows I don't seek out. This happened. I just had to go to this because everybody was going. But I wouldn't make a trip to a fireworks show, but I also wouldn't go buy a bunch of fireworks.
I think I might suck
as a person.
I'd like some of my tastes. I was never into stuff like that. I could care less about fireworks.
Right.
At any level. Somebody was like, do you want to shoot some Roman candles? And I'd always be like, why?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah. I got hit in the stomach by a Roman candle once.
Really?
Yeah. Some kid on the street, I guess must have been 4th of July, just full on aimed it at me and knocked me in the stomach. It didn't leave a mark or anything. It must have been,
What? I've told you multiple times about my dad's playing with Roman candles. When he was going to shoot them at my stepdad's truck, but then ended up just going into the bar instead.
And hanging out with him, yeah. But overall, I'm like, when I was talking, I go get my haircut downtown, and the guy was talking about how he's like, oh, now you're starting to hear fireworks. And I said to him, I go, in New York, you used to hear fireworks way earlier, like very beginning of the summer, and I did not this year. And then he was like, "Yeah, they crack down on it way more hardcore now these days," and which is actually kind of surprising. Yeah, the fact that like weed has been giving so much a wide berth. Weed is legal in so many places. And they didn't ease up on fireworks because it's like recreational illegal shit. You know what I mean? I guess it's more dangerous. You know, you get fingers blown off and kids are doing it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I see somebody's fingers get blown off with fireworks. It's like, okay, that's what you did.
Yeah.
No, you're not getting any sympathy from blowing yourself up if you're like it's like, I don't know. It's like when that fucking grizzly man dude got eaten. Nobody cared.
Right.
Because you're fucking hugging grizzly bears, dude.
That's what happens. There's a great Norm Macdonald bit he did on Daily Show when Jon Stewart still did it, and he goes, everybody's talking about how shocked they are that the crocodile guy got killed. Peacefully being like, oh no, not the crocodile, man, not the Steve Irwin, and he goes. The only messed up part is that he goes, it was some faggy fish that did it. I forget what he says in the clip. And Jon Stewart's losing his mind laughing. Yeah. And then he starts doing like a dialogue like how he's like, "Hey Bill, you almost had him once, didn't you?" He's like, "Yeah, I almost had him. I couldn't get him last, but I told you that story only 1,000 fucking times." It's so perfectly Norm Macdonald.
Well, it's kind of like too like this is gonna make me sound really callous, but like Dale Earnhardt. He died on the racetrack driving in this dangerous ass fucking sport.
Yeah, but I will say this. That's a little bit different because it happens so rarely. Like it's not like if you are a grizzly man, which is like just unrestricted, just him hanging out with bears, or even if you're like Steve Irwin, where it's like he pushed the limit for somebody even in that capacity. So you're like, I get it. This guy was just doing something he did about 400,000 times a year before. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
But so was Grizzly Man.
Yeah.
Grizzly Man was doing something he'd done 400 times before.
No, it was like 10 years
bears
of him doing
or whatever
it.
he did.
He would go blowing bears.
Whatever, dude. He got really like it was like creepy sexual the way he talked about these bears.
Talked about them. It was very like he had that weird.
Hi.
He's like, "Hi."
I love these bears.
When the best is when the fox steals his hat and he goes, "Mr. Fox, where you going? Come here, Mr. My hat."
Dude,
that's Kodiak. That's where I was.
But here's my thing, Sean. If you're in Kodiak and Sean Donnelly becomes a grizzly man, you start going there all the time, and all you're doing is tracking down grizzly bears, playing with them, petting their bellies, trying to hug them, and somebody goes, "Hey Ray, Sean died." I'm like, "Oh, how'd he die?" He got eaten by a grizzly bear. I'm like, "Man, it sucks. That's my buddy, but like." I told him to stop fucking tickling grizzly bears and shit. Stop playing with it. But then, like if Grizzly Man, if that guy died from like a disease, you'd be like, oh, that's really fucking sad that he died from disease. But if you die from fucking sticking your head in bears' mouths because you want them to lick you, you get what's coming.
Yeah. Well, you use the McNulty quote from The Wire. He goes, "You're playing dirt, you get dirty."
Damn. McNulty.
Pretty poignant. But I know what you're saying. But apparently, I don't know if I mentioned this when I got back from my trip. Apparently,
did you see one of those fuckers?
What?
A grizz?
Yeah, from the seaplane. It looked back up at us. It was gigantic. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but Megan told me at the time the Grizzly Man was happening, that guy was like known in Kodiak that he would just come in and do this, and everybody just kind of just rolled their eyes at him and was like, all right, whatever. And then the real story about him getting killed by that one bear, it was an unfamiliar bear to him that actually ended up eating him and his girlfriend. But the rumor around Kodiak was that the bear, they found out after they killed it that it had a really bad toothache. Did I tell you this?
No.
And that's the reason they think that it happened. Not just because he was unfamiliar. They just think that that guy was so annoying, and that bear was like, I have such a bad toothache. Fuck this guy. I'm gonna eat him.
Like the bear kept going, like, yeah, man, I get it. You love bears, dude. You gotta give me like my fucking tooth is killing me. Okay, give me a minute.
He's got one of those cartoon ice pack things with the strap to his head.
He's like, dude, stop touching my belly for 2 seconds.
Just a bear with a numb mouth. He's like, I told you to stop. Absolutely, but I was like, that is what happens. Like, but here's the thing: nobody at the island. I think because that guy was probably so off-putting, or everybody just realized, hey, he's a little bit wacky. and I guarantee you somebody did, but as a whole, they weren't like, "Hey, man, don't do this."
Well,
Yeah.
Never has there been a documentary where you saw the documentary, right?
Yeah,
I guess,
well, a long time ago.
Me
but
too.
yeah.
It's pretty old at this point, but like I will say, like never has there been a documentary with such a sad ending, yet such a unanimous like, yeah, that's kind of what he, not what he deserves, but like it's kind of obvious.
It's yeah.
There's that great Mulaney joke where he talks about when you get on one of those little rinky-dink planes, and they're like, so that little plane crashed. Obviously, like on the, you know what I mean? But it's like a thing, like, like that's your first get. How did that guy die? Got eaten by bears, I would guess.
Yeah,
it's obvious.
And I will say, it also kind of like it sucks that he's probably put into the same spot in my mind as the Into the Wild guy. You know this guy? We were like inexperienced guys who try to do these big things, but the Into the Wild guy was actually kind of sad. I think he didn't have enough expertise. But at the end of that, when he starved to death and he was eating these bad berries and he was poisoning himself, but then when you find out that I think it was like his way out, where he would have just been fine, he could have crossed whatever it was like 100 yards. It was like something so close to where he was that when you find that out, it makes it that much sadder. And I give him a little bit more leeway because it's like he's camping; he's not just tempting ferocious animals.
And he was in Speed Racer, right?
Well. Emil Hirsch, the actor who played him, his name's Christopher something.
Oh.
It wasn't actually Emil Hirsch.
I always get it mixed up.
Do you not know there's a profession called acting?
I know, sometimes I get it mixed up.
And you think the actor is the person that proves how much of a good actor Emil Hirsch is, I guess.
Yeah.
You thought he was the real guy.
I know.
Yes. How could they make the movie if you already died in the... Or you just thought it was a documentary, or it was a live...
I'm like the guy that...
It was live streamed?
I'm like the guy that your dad worked with.
when he said John Travolta comes back to life in Pulp Fiction? And like I can only imagine when that happened to my dad. That guy said this to my dad. If he had a bunch of papers, he just would have thrown them up in the air. All right, I'm done.
Did you ever?
I'm done with this.
Did I ever tell you my bit that I used to always do, like just joking around with a couple buddies back in Pittsburgh? Is I would do. It was my impression. It was Robert De Niro. If he never read the script for his movies before he went into the audition and just tried to guess, he'd be like, "We got to do something about these bulls. They're raging." And they're like, "Oh, Bob, it's
about boxing.
It's a boxing movie.
You're Jake LaMotta, Bob.
It's a bad title for the movie then,
Well, also, like Robert De Niro trying out for Sopranos. Because everybody thought Sopranos was something else when it first came out.
Oh, they did think
about singers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love to be in your choir. I could sing very high or I could sing low.
I have a falsetto.
I could get into my head voice pretty easy.
But very sad. His grandson just died at 19. Robert De Niro.
Way to fucking bring that.
Sorry
about that. How did he die? Grizzly bears?
I think he got impaled by a raging bull.
Oh!
That'll teach him
He's
to
back.
die. Yeah.
I got a little liquid death in you.
Listen, so I think that we're talking a lot of shit here, and we have a new idea for the show. We want to do the movie question now, or you want to do the sequel question you had? Let's do that next.
We can end with that.
Want to end with that?
If we have time.
Well, yeah.
If
We'll end
not,
with
they
it. We'll end with it. Okay, cool.
Well, can we start with a dude you'd like this?
Yes, let's do that.
Because I have a dude you'd like this, and I hope that you... Dude, I hope you like this.
Now, can I ask... Are we allowed to ask questions before it? Or
Yeah, if you'd like.
I want to see if it's a interesting thing or if it's a laugher. Is it a laugher? It's a laugher. Okay.
No, it's interesting.
Yeah, you just cracked up at the thought of the
Okay,
video.
are you ready?
All right, here we go.
ジャンプじゃないもうジャンプじゃないドリブルですよすごいダムダムなっておりますこれはこういうやつですねこれはルキアももうこれはブロッキー状態なのではないでしょうか
Gotta love Japanese wrestling, it says.
And this is just straight up Japanese wrestling?
Well, it's a match. Yeah, it's a tag team match, it looks like. I don't know much context, but I don't think you need much. It's
his character is what, the ballet guy?
The guy's finishing move is he is just dipping his
buttocks.
butt and balls on like a sleeping guy's face.
But and he's doing it while he's doing like ballet stretches up and down. And
Yes.
the guy's just passed out.
And then
But
another
obviously,
guy
the other
is
thing
fake piano
it's still
playing.
fake wrestling, so the guy's not passed out.
No.
And also, it seems like that's the longest finishing move I've ever seen in wrestling. He just did 10 seconds. I was like, isn't that way longer than a finishing move should be?
Well-
and then on top of it, the guy's tag team partner is behind him, like almost like doing the conductor hands or something. And,
Well,
and
he's
like,
fake piano playing.
oh.
I love it.
I like it a lot too.
Well, then the other thing is the thing. Well, here's what I wanted to originally show you. Is there is a wrestler named Joey Ryan. He's like an independent wrestler, and
AEW or whatever.
No, not even like more underground than that.
yeah.
And he has like the wildest wrestling moves. Like he like puts a lollipop down his pants and like shoves it in somebody's mouth. His finishing move, or one of his finishing moves, is the person puts their hand on his crotch, and he like, and they like flip over like his dick did it.
Oh, are you kidding me?
And then so looking up that and getting that ready, I got this
That's a
record.
stretch for it. Was it Joey Ryan?
Yeah.
Irish name? That's flash.
They're just holding him like this. Just a lot of Irish guys have small wieners.
That's a hacky joke, yeah.
Is that's a stereotype?
Never heard that one.
You
huh?
Irish?
I am Irish.
So pull that bad boy out.
I flipped a couple of guys in my time. Wait, so you wanted me to show me that guy, but you couldn't get a video of it, or what?
No, I could, but then I saw this and that made me laugh because it was fresher to me.
Yeah.
Because I'd already seen the Joey Ryan stuff so many times, and this is and when you hear the like Japanese announcers, it makes it so much funnier.
I was just about
me.
to say that. Nothing's funnier than a clip where you don't understand the language of what's going on in
Yes.
the background. Where it's like, what are they saying? Like, I'm totally curious. What are they saying? And because you can hear him laughing at one point. So this guy, they also, obviously, Japanese wrestling hasn't caught up to the, I don't know, being more sensitive to these topics. Because I think is it supposed to be a gay wrestler? Like almost like Adrian Adonis back in the day was basically a trans wrestler. Adrian Adonis in WWF.
Well, see, I don't know
had
who that
like
is.
a frilly. This is like the 80s, early 90s.
Do you remember Goldust?
Goldust was supposed to be gay?
Are you kidding?
Oh,
me?
I didn't follow Goldust.
Goldust was super
And
gay.
Goldust was WCW. Am I correct?
WWF.
Oh, that's way after my time then.
Do you remember what his move was?
Lollipop, suck a dick.
No, but that's hilarious. He would put the lollipop down his pants and he'd pull it out and he'd like shove it in the person's mouth.
What was Goldust's move?
Goldust, his finishing move was Shattered Dreams, and he would put the wrestler in the corner and put one of his legs stuck behind the one rope and the other behind the other rope, and he has like a full spread, and then he would just kick him in the nuts.
You know what he
Shattered
should have
Dreams.
done? If you call the wrestling move Shattered Dreams, it should be what he does is he takes the opponent passed out to an open mic and they have to do comedy for 5 years.
I like how you said 5 years. Because they're like, oh, I'm getting pretty good at this. No, you're not. No, you're not. Quit.
And then he comes out 5 years later from behind the curtain and goes, "That's Shattered Dreams." In a wrestling voice. But I wanted to say before we go to this topic real quick.
Dude, did you like that?
I did like it.
It's
Yeah,
funny.
I did like it a lot.
It kind of reminds
Immediately,
me.
it's one of those like right away laughers where you're like, I have no context. That's the best thing about this section. You want no context of the video.
Well, and even when you see the video, there is no context. He's just bouncing. I can't. If you are listening, you have to go and check out our reel that'll be on Instagram of this, or the or our YouTube, which has the full. Because the video is fucking hilarious to me.
And that's why I don't understand the move, because I'm like, shouldn't it have only been about 3 seconds of that, and then he does like the thing? Like, I don't know why it goes on for so long, and the guy behind the ropes, the partner is like joining in. Is that part of the move?
That's part of the move. That's probably what's putting him to sleep.
Oh, it's like a lullaby thing.
Yeah.
My ass in your face, and my partner playing the piano.
If you watch closely, it's not just his ass. He's
I
kind
know,
of teabagging him, man.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Teabagging him. Remember that was a big thing?
Imagine, they should call that Shattered Dreams because that guy wanted to be a wrestler one day. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's a shattered dream. When you're a kid and you want to be a pro wrestler, and then that's what ends up happening.
Yeah, it's. Oh, that's.
And you're
tough.
like, one day I'm gonna be, even if it's some famous Japanese wrestler. I don't know them. I don't know Japan wrestling too well, but even if it's, I'm gonna be this guy one day, and then you're like, all right, so when his cock's in your face, just bob your head with the motion of his penis. Like where you're basically like a wrestling fluffer.
I mean, I've experienced that. That's the equivalent, not being a wrestling fluffer, but that's the equivalent to me being like, I'm going to New York City to become a big famous comedian, and like 3 months in, I'm just plunging a fucking toilet at a church I'm temping at. I'm like, hey, I'll figure it out. I'm going to a mic after this at least.
But still more dignified than a Japanese penis in your face up and down while a lullaby plays.
It's got like 1 million views.
I'm sure.
A million people.
It's hilarious. The minute I saw it, I started laughing.
It's hilarious, but like that fucking guy. Because it gets a zoom in on his sleeping face.
Yeah.
Just getting dipped.
Yeah.
And dipped.
He's getting violated.
And dunked.
You know who I do, real quick, on wrestling? You know who I do like? You're my favorite guy, and he's kind of a novelty.
Who?
He's AEW. Right? AEW? Why does it
Yeah.
sound like it's a soda?
ANW.
Yeah, I know.
It's a root beer.
Orange Crush? What's his name? Orange something? Orange Tangent?
Cassidy.
Yes. That guy's awesome. He's
I don't
this
know much about
ginger
him.
dude that wears like, he has his hands in his pockets the entire match and just does shit with his feet and like his puts them in between his arm and his his hand, like whatever, like interlock, his hand in his pocket, gets their head in between, and it's really impressive to watch, dude.
They're like the AEW, like I've watched a little bit of that. I'm not a big wrestling guy anymore, but like they seem to be the better like wrestlers, like the better stuntmen.
Well, I think it's like they seem to me like they're like purists, like they're like the fans of wrestling that are wrestlers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the guys who, not even fans, like guys who get it more, guys that hardcore wrestling fans are going to be more into. Almost like bringing it back old school, like to like 80s style with actually even more talent on them. You know what I mean? Like back when I was,
they're doing the like high flying shit, the like crazy moves on each other.
So it's acrobatics, but also having that like nostalgia of like, oh, this is this trope of this guy who has his hands in his pockets. This is the owner's son, the owner of the company's son, who's like the heel, or whatever. Like it's like a more, and also they make it a little bit more low budget. It seems like, so that seems more fun.
I think that helps.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. What is the next?
My
section?
algorithm is out of control.
What is?
It's all like like old wrestling stuff or farts.
Well, that's because you saved one of that video to show me the last time.
Yeah.
A couple of those fantastic.
I got
hallway fart videos.
Stairwell farts, Sean. Before we get on to the next segment of which is our quick jerk. No, it's our it's a new segment. Which is the I'm done with that. But what I wanted to say is are you a pimple? Are you a pimple? Cut. No. Are you? I'm talking like the announcers.
You're doing your Billy Madison impression.
How has he not got canceled for that? That seems somehow racist. Who knows? But no. What I was getting at is pimple popper. Those videos.
No.
They are
I will do,
fucking foul, brother.
If they took over my algorithm, I would throw my phone away.
It was one of the first time I ever saw it. It was on Snapchat, and I saw something, and it is. I can't believe how popular it is. It's atrocious.
People lose their minds over it. They love it. It's almost like ASMR for people, like visual ASMR, where they love. I think that's like the release of it, like it's like because they equate to their own experience. I don't know what's going on.
Because if I got a fucking pimple somewhere, I like ripping it. I like popping it. It's like kind of cool. It's kind of relieving, and it makes your face look better after you like dab something on it. You're good to go.
Yeah.
But this shit, watching another fucking dirty human being get a big fucking zit popped, makes me want to vomit.
And the word pimple is an understatement. It should be like a ghastly boil popper. Like it's those like that commercial for that show would pop up on like streaming or whatever it was. Pimple popper MD.
Yeah.
I couldn't even watch the commercial. They'd be like They should give you a warning, like a trigger warning, before they show you these pimple videos. Like it's worse than Like it's upsetting. Like it's gross.
Dude,
Should be like it's like watching a Pokemon episode that flickers.
I feel I feel bad telling this story, but because it's gross, but I have to tell it. Did I ever tell you the story about the glass bottom boat?
No.
Okay, do you know what one of those are?
Yeah.
So my dad took us on vacation when we were kids. We go to Florida. He gets this glass bottom, he gets us tickets to the glass bottom boat because it was like the cheapest fucking thing he could find. So he starts like overhyping it. That's how he's like, nah, dude, this will probably be pretty cool. Like the whole bottom's made of glass. You could see everything. Dude, it's like a window, like smaller than your window that you could see. It's like
those billionaires in the submersible.
Oh yeah, dude, it's
with the white trash version. But you guys survived. Not to be a dick, but
we made it.
You guys made it,
and we only paid $20 for that safety.
So you go to the
so the thing was shit, and me and my brother are just like ripping on my dad. We're like, "Oh, dude, yeah, this is so cool, man," and like he's getting all pissed off. But then there's this guy who's like the first mate walking around, kind of leading everything. I forget it. It was something. He had a silly name like Hawk or something. Everybody's calling him Hawk.
It's badass.
And but dude, he had this what we were calling a goiter on the back of his neck.
Yeah.
And we kept like mentioning it, and then it burst open.
Yeah, one hump.
And what?
One hump.
What's that?
Young Frankenstein.
Oh,
yeah.
But
wait a minute.
So
what did you say? I'm sorry.
It burst open.
It burst open.
So he has this leaky ass nasty thing on the fucking back of his neck while he's like working and talking to people. He's like the tour guide of the thing. And my dad is the most squeamish motherfucker, and he just keeps doing it. He goes like, oh God, fuck, and like the guy can hear him, and I think the guy's starting to catch on to what is goes down. Dude. And me and my brother are just laughing hysterically, and finally he just disappears and comes back with a bandage over it.
Yeah, which you should have done 20 minutes prior.
It was fucking one of the nastiest things I've ever seen.
Oh my God, dude, I'm like nauseous now.
Dude, it was one of the grossest things I've ever seen in my life, but I didn't take in how gross it was because how hard I was laughing.
I feel bad for the guy. That sucks.
It's embarrassing.
I don't, even embarrassing. It's like, oh, it might probably be painful or whatever. Dude, but
no, it's embarrassing, dude, because he had this gusto at first. Like, everybody, welcome to the glass bottom boat. Yeah, we're going to have some fun. We're going to do the, you know. And then, like, he noticed, like, me and my brother are laughing hysterically, and then my dad's, like, disgusted. And then he comes back. He's like, all right, so, yeah, I don't know if anybody's had a chance, but there's a little fucking window at the bottom, on the bottom floor. You could see that, or you could just look over the fucking edge. I don't know.
If there's one thing that'll take the wind out of your sails, it's oozing pus.
Oh no! He did. He was like the glass bottom boat where you could see the mysteries of the ocean. And then he comes back. He's like, yeah, there's a little fucking window at the bottom. I don't know.
Making
look
shit up.
at
He's like, my name's Hawk. You know who gave me that name? A Navy SEAL.
And he's like, I don't know, man. I lost a lot of blood today.
He comes back. He's like, got divorced. It's real sad.
I know you motherfuckers all saw that fucking burst bubble on the back of my neck. I know you so know how gross I am. You know what I've been through this month? That's a boil from stress. My wife took my kids.
That is disgusting.
Yeah.
And if I was there, I'd be horrified.
I think you said he just got divorced.
He comes back. It was like, you know what's so funny? That literally could be an I think you should leave sketch.
I know.
Where he comes back and he's like, stupid boat.
Just fucking dumb.
I don't even like boats. Like,
You know, I was a good singer, actually. I was in the choirs. I was going to go to school for it. And I got married. You get somebody pregnant. Next thing you know, you're on a fucking boat with a window at the bottom. You've got pus oozing out of your neck.
You should open up a laundromat like my cousin. You can't be named Hawk and open up a laundromat.
It's so funny. That's such a mundane career. I should open up a laundromat like Dale did.
It reminds me that I think you should leave sketch from the new season. Did you watch the new season, right? Yeah. Where he goes, he's like, we talk politics all night, and if I think I'm losing the argument, I'll go on my phone. And then they're like, Bill, and he's like, it's my mom.
My mom. Because it's something that can't wait. You're like, it's my mom. Oh, man. That is so funny. funny.
Oh my God! Should we do the next section, my friend?
Yes.
We have a couple things left for the episode.
We have a new section. I'm done with that.
I'm done with that, and I have mine, and you have yours, I believe.
Which it's just something, whether it's as you get older, whether it's just you're annoyed with society and what's happened. It's just our chance to vent a little bit, or just to grow up. And thing that I'm done with, I'm done with voting. I'm done voting on anything at all. From somebody's fucking Instagram poll to the president of the United States. You can't count on my ballot. Don't count on my vote. Not a chance. I don't feel strongly about anything anymore. I'm done, dude.
This started, I really thought it was going to be like a fun section. But then you're just like, what? I'm done with my constitutional right of voting for the president of the country.
It's not a right. It's a curse.
Why? What happened? Did you vote for somebody's GoFundMe? Or I don't even know how that
Vote
works.
for your GoFundMe. Yeah, I vote you don't do a GoFundMe. 'Cause
Yeah.
You don't need a liver transplant. You're just trying to have somebody fucking pay for your band to go to New Zealand.
Yeah. And you're presenting it as like an artistic endeavor. It's like you just want to travel the world. Wait, why? What turned you off from voting, Ray? Because
I don't want to talk about. I'm dismissing myself of politics. I'm dismissing myself of the conversation.
I've realized this. I agree with you. Where
I didn't
there's
vote.
so much white noise.
I didn't vote in the last election.
You didn't vote in the last election.
It was by accident, but I didn't.
But I do. But here's the thing, but then it just becomes you can't talk about anything with politics.
Yes, I can.
But no, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
But if you're not participating, this is going to become a political thing. If
It's
you're not
not.
participating in the democratic process, you really have no standing because you're one vote, one man. You can make a difference, which is bullshit. But at least you can go. I voted. I put my money where my mouth was. Because there's places like you can go back to Pennsylvania. And it actually matters more than it matters in New York.
I
Your
do
vote.
vote in Pennsylvania.
Right. So I don't know what you.
But can I do this then? Okay, I'm not allowed to complain if I don't vote, right?
Well, you're not allowed to be like, yeah, kinda. Because
Okay,
it's like
I'll take that. But also,
there's.
if somebody starts talking to me about politics, can I go, ooh, I'm going to stop you right there. I don't vote. So can I also not have to hear it?
Yeah, you have the right to say that. But here's the thing, don't you?
I'm standing by
Do you
it.
realize the reason
And I'm
why
done voting for The Voice, too. Because my singer never wins.
you should have led with that and then built up to the election. You're like,
Yeah. I vote Team Blake every time, and it never wins.
But here's the thing, man. Real quick, because I don't want to get too into politics. Don't you realize that the reason why a lot of the shit that you might be angry about in politics is because not enough people vote? So the whole idea, and to be honest, you touched on something that's for real. Like the amount of noise that people talk about, how they hate Trump, how they hate Biden, how they do this, whatever it is. I would love to see the actual numbers on those people of who actually does vote for president, because it can't be a lot of them. There's more people online talking than there are that they're actually doing the voting.
You know what? I think maybe I will, instead of quitting voting, oh, so you changed my mind a little bit.
Good.
Thank you.
try
I
to
will
help when I
vote
can.
one thing. I will make one thing my passion,
For what?
like city planner or something like that. I'll just vote on city planner.
The random local office.
Yeah, just one, and I will make it the only thing I talk about.
You'll canvass for them and hand out flyers.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I won't vote anything else. So if you're counting on me to text in my vote for The Voice, that's not happening anymore. If you're counting on me to vote Biden for a second time, it will be a first time. I didn't vote last time, but I won't do that. But if it's like comptroller or something like that, or a sheriff, that's what I'll do. That's my thing, sheriff. I'm getting real into sheriff elections.
Did you move to the Wild West? Is there? Are we time traveling? Did I escape? Are you on Molly or something? You're just saying random shit. Yeah, vote for sheriff
I'll vote for you. Vote for sheriffs.
because he has all the great horse laws that you love.
I'm here to protect and serve. That's what I care. That's my new mission.
Justice is your mission.
Justin,
Justin,
my friend.
Justin the sheriff.
Justin
Justice.
Vote for Justin Justice for sheriff. I'm just about a mumble mouth fuck today.
So am I.
All right. What are you done with?
I will
also
say
voting.
Yeah. I'm done with you voting. I'm gonna stop that one vote for just injustice that you're trying to go. No, my thing was actually because I have a bit about this I do sometimes on stage, but it's I think we have to admit like I'm talking about strip clubs. Like not that I stopped recently going. I haven't gone in a long time, but I think we have to stop pretending that we're excited about strip clubs. And after the age of 25, because here's the thing, I do a joke about having the one friend that thinks he's gonna fuck the strippers.
Yes.
Now, I've said that on stage. I'm done with more than strip clubs themselves. I'm done with people telling me when I say that joke, people going, "Oh, done it! My friend did it. My friend has done it." And I'm like, I know it happens. It's a joke, first of all.
Yeah.
But I'm done with people like the idea that the type of, maybe this is more of the better answer. The type of dude who can't, his own machismo can't let you go, yeah, strip clubs are kind of lame. I'm 40 and I don't go to them anymore. But because you're such a bro or you're such a meathead, you have to turn around and go, what's this kid talking about?
Yeah.
Strip clubs are the best. It's like, hey, man, we won't think your penis doesn't work if you don't want to go to strip clubs anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. You can have, like, or like, I used to have a joke. I still do it on the road because it works because a lot of married couples, a joke about how, like, sex slows down when you get married. It's a trope. It's not right. It's not exactly right for everybody.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, it's not true for everybody. Oh, my God. The looks and the mumbles that I get. Not here. Not here. I have a boner right now.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
yeah.
Well, but can I also play Keanu Reeves in the late 90s?
Which is what?
Devil's Advocate?
I not.
Can I? Can I play Devil's Advocate?
He's an absentee landlord.
I was gonna rewatch that movie the other
good.
day. It's like 3 hours long though. It's a long one.
It's a fun one to watch, though.
I need to rewatch it.
I want the secretary to get murdered so bad. And
Spoilers.
Oh God.
I haven't seen it in a while. But if I could play him for a second, I agree. I'm done with the idea that strip clubs are really cool. But I also don't like, you were saying like you don't like when a dude is like, oh, how don't you like strip clubs? They're great. It's titties, blah, blah, blah. But I also don't like the guy who like waits till he gets around a bunch of women and we're like, I don't like strip clubs. I just think it's barbaric.
Yeah. Right. That guy too. Fuck that guy.
That
too.
guy stinks.
Fuck that guy too. Yeah, exactly. Also, which doesn't work anymore because it means you're anti-sex work.
That's true.
And then people should be
means you're like sex shaming, kink shaming.
Or not even kink shaming. Just they should be able to make a living for how they want to make a living. But and I'm fine with that. But the farce that anybody ever goes and after you get to a certain age and you're like, oh, this is just kind of lame. And I've not, like even if I have gone, which was years and years ago. The last time I went, you just kind of go and get a drink and chill out.
I'm not gonna lie. I've had fun there. I've had fun at strip clubs.
No, but how old were you
it's
when
a
you did?
young. You're
That's
right.
what I mean.
It is a young man's game.
Dude, when I was 8, we used to go to a place called Wiggles. Maybe I talked about this on Queens Boulevard.
What was it called?
Wiggles. And I do a joke about it. I say, because that's what you want out of a strip club, to have the same name as a children's TV show.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But you would go, and it was...
Then after we would go to Rugrats.
And then we met up with Doug. But dude, like, we would all... I was like 20 probably going to this place. I was definitely before I was 21. It was all nude, but there was no alcohol. So it was just like... That's how they worked it out.
Yeah.
I don't know what the logic was there. There's still testosterone.
Yeah.
There's still dudes with penises. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember going
gaggle
there.
of wieners here, you know?
I remember being one of the most exciting things ever because you're not really... I was 20. I don't get laid that often. I was a freak. You just have a boner 24 hours a day. And it was like Shangri-La for your boner. You walked in and you're like, this is where I'm meant to be for the rest of my life. And then you would go... we would go every once in a while, and it was like really fun. But that novelty wears off very quickly. It's almost like when I was married and it was going south, and I was like envious of my friends that were on online dating, and I was like, it must be amazing.
Yeah,
they're on this. When I'm fully single, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna go on this. And then you go, and after a month, you're like, this stinks. This is the worst. So it's kind of that thing of like that grass is always greener thing, where you're like,
it really is. But it is a young man's game, It's so weird that you say this because I was just at having lunch with my buddy Andy, who's in town, and he kind of like nailed it. He literally brought the same topic up, which is funny. He said when you're younger and you go to a strip club, it's like, oh, these women are all getting naked and they're older than me. But when you're older and you go and you're like, these women are all like way younger than me. Yeah. This is kind of creepy.
Yeah,
I'm kind of being a weird guy now.
Yes, 100%. And that's most of strip clubs is guys like my age now, or a little bit older, like a little bit older or younger, whatever it is.
What's the cutoff? What do you think?
I'm hardcore. By the time I'll give you 27. And that's still old. As I say it, I'm like 25. I was done.
Well, and that's another thing. That's what like my girl was saying. We were talking about like bachelor parties and stuff like that the one night, and she said, I probably wouldn't be happy with you getting strippers or going to a strip club. I don't think I would want that. And then I was like, yeah, I'm like 33 now. Yeah. And like people that would be coming to like my bachelor party, it would be like you and my brother. It's like and by that like it's like a bunch of like
older dudes.
Yeah, what are we gonna? That's strange, man.
We'll still drink our faces off.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we're gonna black out and fucking laugh at farts and do stupid. Hey, we're gonna be children, but it's also like I don't fucking.
Yeah. No, I just think that I'm personally done with it, and then I'm also done with the thing around it. And to be honest, I bet you younger generations, it might even be such an old even thing to say because. The way that kids are now, you see all these articles, and I listen to this podcast. This guy talks about how, like, I think everybody's so online. I think there's less sex going on. Yeah. So I'm sure strip clubs aren't even a thing for people from, like, age 21 to, like, 30. Like, right, like maybe a little bit younger than you, and, like, from, like, 18 on or whatever. I don't think people are going like they did, because I think it's viewed. If I had to guess, based off, like, what people do now and how the culture is and how, social aspects of things are, and I think it would be a thing like, it does seem like Gen Zers are more mature in that respect. They'd be like, no, that's lame. Like, it's almost like the cool guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah, I guess, yeah. And then, the same way spring break is probably more respectable than it was in certain places back in, like, the 80s and 90s and, like, 2000. You know what I mean? Like, that just used to be, like, sexual assault, a palooza. And now that I'm saying it doesn't still happen, but I guarantee you that
people are more mindful.
More mindful.
We've evolved a little bit.
We've evolved. Well, that's why anything like that is good, because it kind of counteracts, like, a shitty, I don't know, a vibe out there,
Yeah, I was always like...
I was always the guy... sorry to interrupt. I know what you're about to say. Same thing. I was never never a meathead. Never the guy that was like pussy hound by any means.
Well, yeah, I was never like the slap her ass while she's on stage or anything like that. Like,
that's what I mean.
That
That
type
kind
of guy.
of thing. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I had fun. I'm just gonna sit there and look.
No.
Hey, I'm a red-blooded white American male.
Yeah, but there's ways to have fun where you're like not a giant scumbag.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's get to, speaking of that, let's get to a new segment that we just started last week that people seem to really enjoy, Sean, the Quick Jerk, where we ask each other rapid-fire questions. We learned a ton about you last week, about some of the like nefarious things that you're into, some of the movies that you think are really funny, and your favorite president, as well as how you don't really pay attention to the Pope and who's in Pope's office.
I only have a handful of these. I forget how many you had for last week. I don't know what
I had 33.
No, you did not have 33 of them.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not.
But you didn't answer all of them.
I only have a handful of these.
Let's do it.
All right. So if I run out, then that's it.
Do I gotta answer them quickly?
You can. Yes. Yeah. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. Put the start the timer.
No, it wasn't the time I farted.
Okay. You ready?
There
we go. There it is. You ready?
Yeah.
Scorsese or Spielberg?
Scorsese.
Pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
Arnold or Sylvester?
Arnold.
What is the meaning of life?
To just fucking have a good time, hang out with your bros, and fucking and party, dude.
When was the last time you cried?
Today.
Round or it just hit you. You got it.
What time is? It's only like 4:00.
Round or flat Earth?
Flat. Easy.
Are you a flat earther? Did I not know that about you?
I don't know. Are we always falling down when we're walking, dude? No, we walk. We walk straight. and flat.
I saw a clip of some guy explaining the reason that it's not a round Earth is because wouldn't the water from the ocean just be falling off the planet?
It is.
And then he goes to the lady. He goes, and don't tell me gravity. Why not? That's the reason, you fucking idiot. I love the flat earthers. I know the question thing, we have to go back to it, but I love the flat earthers. They always go, and don't tell me the exact reason. The flat earthers logic. And don't tell me the true fact of why this
How
is the
were
case.
babies really made? And don't tell me sex.
Don't tell me vaginally. I know there's a stork.
Don't tell me that.
Don't tell me. That's what flat earthers. It's only flat earthers.
That is funny.
Where they do the experiments.
Yeah.
They'll get these insanely expensive pieces of equipment that they'll go, okay, so if the Earth isn't flat, we should see a change in the horizon, whatever it is, electromagnetic change in the horizon, and then it happens, like the round Earth thing happens on the machinery. Now they're like, let's try again. They do it like 4 times, and they're like, okay, let's and they change something about it that fits their narrative. To them go,
Or they'll have something like, okay, here's a basketball. Try walking on this. What? What do you mean, try walking on this?
and don't tell me it's tiny. Don't tell me that you're not a circus bear and it's tiny. And don't tell me that that you can't handle it and you don't have the hand-eye coordination and the Earth is a million times bigger.
Why did I throw up last night? And don't tell me it's because I had 16 shots of tequila and a burrito. Don't tell me that.
All right, you ready for the next question?
Yeah, I didn't cry today.
You didn't. Were you thinking that the whole time?
What?
That you had to say that? Because you're like, oh, I did a bit where I said I cried today, but you're trying to be
I
manly.
didn't actually cry today.
You're trying to be manly, and you're going, I need the people to know I didn't cry today. Are you buffing up your muscles while you take a sip of that liquid death? Dude, wait a minute. You said I didn't cry today, and then you literally, like you were lifting a barbell. What are you talking about? That's how I said. Dude, you changed your posture, and now you're drinking a liquid death seltzer water like you're chugging a beer.
Did you fucking cry today?
And now you're talking. Now you're like not even looking at me. You're talking on the side of your mouth like you're like a bro in like a in a gym that's like spotting his friend, or like trying to pick up chicks.
What's up?
Now you changed your. Now you say, who are you saying what's up to? We've been talking for an hour.
Do I want to do some? You got any more questions left for me?
I have one. This is actually.
One more?
Please answer it in this character.
All right, brother.
Puppies or kittens?
Hell, I gotta go with puppies.
And why is that?
Because they'll come up to me, play with me, and let me pet their little heads. Sometimes a kitten will run away from you.
That's my last question. My rapid fire questions went off the rails.
Puppies or kittens?
The whole
dude,
bit, my whole idea for the bit was to ask you very, very heavy questions and end with puppies or kittens. Because I thought it would work out better.
But we didn't get to it because you didn't anticipate me saying flat earth. Flat earther.
Let me ask you this. You're with a lovely woman now. If you went on a first date with somebody and it went great, and at the end of the date you found out that they're a flat earther, but you hadn't had sex in 3 weeks, 6 months, or whatever it was, would you put that as... Okay, that's a better question. You have a guaranteed... Yeah, it's just yes. You just made a face like, yeah, of course, I know what's coming.
Well, I mean, that's like not like the... like. There's other things that would be like a big deal breaker to me. Like
flat earth?
Flat earth, I don't fucking like...
You don't think flat earth is indicative of like so many other things that would be wrong?
Don't care.
It's like intelligence and just like gullibility and just like not having independent thought.
House, okay.
Or not believing facts and science.
Can we do something old school?
Don't you tell me.
Can we do Can we do something old school?
Yeah.
Can we role play how it would happen and you be, because I want to know how into flat earthing she is, or if it's just like I think it might be flat. Or is it like me like?
No, it'd be like this. It has to be like
Okay.
this, where it's more than that. Where it's not just like it's not like it's like the jihad of flat earth. But she'd be like that. She'd be like,
So I'm like,
she's like someday we'll get all those round earthers. Like someday we'll convince all those round earthers. Like she'll call them round earthers.
What do you mean round earthers?
Or no, she would say like someday we'll convince all the roundies. And you're like,
oh,
what's
so
rounding?
she's Asian.
Oh my god.
I didn't mean to say that.
We're leaving it in.
I don't care. Okay, listen. No.
So how would you handle it? So if you're like, you can tell by how she phrased it that she's in it. Like
So-
in it.
I've kind of had this happen.
Because I'm a UFO. I worried about that for myself with UFOs when I was going on dates and I was into it. But I'm also, we joke around, people joke around, but I'm not psychotic.
Because you've been on a first date and then she's like, yeah, aliens probably aren't real. There is scientific evidence that shows this. Look at this video. Look at this tic-tac shaped thing. Fucking bouncing around. It's bouncing back and forth. See, here's the thing, is this is defying the laws of physics. And then she's like, okay, all right, yeah, sure.
Did I ever I told you recently, I do that bit. I do
Yeah.
a bit on stage, just to let people know, where I describe, I mentioned that I'm divorced twice, and at the end I describe UFOs awkwardly for like a minute and a half maybe, and then I say what I'm trying to say is divorce is really hard, and it does what I did again, and I did really well, but do you realize, I feel bad every time I do it? Because I feel like I'm betraying all the people that actually do believe in UFOs.
See, that's why you're nuts. That's why you're nuts. Because what I was just doing right there wasn't an impression of your bit.
Oh, you
it's
mean
an impression of driving in a car with you. It's an impression of you getting into the car, about to get into the car. You're like, probably a good night to see a UFO. I'm like, why don't you get in here? We got 2 hours to get back to
Well,
New
I'm
York.
also doing that in a little bit tongue in cheek.
Yeah, are you?
I know that because I know that I want you to like shit on me for it, like a little bit.
But the first time you ever met my girlfriend, you were talking across the table to somebody about UFOs, and or like the first time you ever hung out.
Rover?
And I just went. I was like, oh Christ, somebody got Donnelly talking about UFOs, and she thought that was like her first introduction to you, and she was like, oh, I love Sean. He's so funny talking about UFOs the other night, and I was like, he wasn't doing a bit, man. He's really into it.
She thought I was fucking around.
Yeah.
I'm spitting in this guy's face. I'm like, you don't even know. You don't know what's really going on.
I was like, yeah, Christ, he's talking about UFOs again.
At one point, what do you do to?
Well, going back, I've kind
I
of
had that with. I dated. Sorry to interrupt
No,
you, but
go ahead.
I dated a girl where I realized that she might have been like slightly racist, like for real. She started doing a thing where she got mad because sometimes the ads in the back of the Yankees game were in Spanish, and I'm like, you realize they play in the Bronx. The Bronx is more Spanish than Puerto Rico. It's like. So I realized that, and I was like, and she was really cute, and I think there was a little bit of a make out. This is like years ago.
Yeah.
But the fact being is that I went like, oh, and then after we didn't hang out again, it was even in like a quasi. Is this a date? Is it not? I'm so glad it didn't work out because you look at her Instagram and you're like, oh, this would have been done immediately. So that kind of is off the hook, easy, whatever it was. But I'm saying with this, where they're like, oh, it's like, how do you? Because I think the question is, do I say? Because it's almost like a bait. Like I want you to know that you're so wrong, and not just where it's like judgmentally, and I have wool over my eyes wrong, meaning like you're just factually incorrect about this.
You remember I had this happen last year.
You did.
I called you right after the date. And it was only one date. It was the girl that like she was telling me that she works from home because she's not getting the vaccine. She doesn't care about your dead grandma. It doesn't matter. And then I made her feel bad, and I was like, yeah, my grandma did die from COVID. I don't know how you knew that. And she was like, what? And I was like, no, she didn't. But
see, there you go.
You feel bad.
You feel bad.
And then at the end of the date, I kissed her outside her apartment, and she goes, oh, can we go in my little hallway? I don't want my Asian neighbors to see us. And I was like, I didn't like, you know how you hear something and you don't register it? But then we get back in the hallway and I kissed her again, and I'm thinking the whole time, I'm like, why did she say Asian neighbors? Huh. And then I remember I was calling you, walking, I was like, dude, you are not going to fucking believe this.
I remember this.
And it's like it was like such a thing because she also, I was telling you about, I think we talked about this when I came and filled in for Kevin on your Sirius show. Because she was the one where I thought, I was like, hey, does this sound like it might have been have a little like racial undertone, like racist undertone in a message that she sent me, and I can't remember exactly what it was.
Oh, I do remember
in the
that.
Hinge message, and I said, so she said something like, you know, I like living over Astoria because, you know, it's just better people, if you know what I mean. And I was like, huh? And like it wasn't that it wasn't that
But it was close
cut and
enough to
dry.
that,
It wasn't
yeah.
that cut and dry, but it was something where like I remember asking you were like, yeah, that might be, you know.
And here's the thing. It's also a thing where you wonder about why do you feel so free to say this?
Yeah.
Like they don't even realize like your subtext. You're not getting away with anything. You're so transparent at this point.
And imagine if I went on date 2, date 3, date 4, if that's the kind of stuff she was slinging on date 1.
It would have been.
Imagine her loose.
Been taking you to meetings.
Imagine her comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. The N-words would have been flying. And then you had your own N-word. You want to go on another date? No, I don't.
No.
Because you're a good guy
Thank you.
and not
Sean.
racist.
I'm not racist.
Well, not kind of, but
not racist.
usually not.
What a hard ass like stance. Yeah, what a brave stance. I am Zawodni and I'm not racist. I'm not homophobic.
I ever tell you,
And I think everybody should have the right to marry and love who they want.
that's a hot take
Thank you.
in 2020.
dude, that's how we need to end. We're gonna start ending every episode with us giving one hot take.
One hot take that's super obvious.
Yeah.
I told you about how there's a comic, I won't say his name, but he would do these obvious posts like that on, and he goes, what did he do? He goes, it was like, it was something like this, where it was like, I don't know about you guys. And you know how it starts? I don't know about you guys, but I just think anti-Semitism is wrong. Like, it's like, I don't know about you. It's like, you don't know about us? You sure? It's like, in your community of stand-up comedians, you don't know about it? And then I wrote, I think I wrote like, hey man, thanks for taking this hard stance. Or something. And then he goes, instead of commenting, he wrote to me, he goes, really, Donnelly? On this, you're going to give me shit?
And
I was like, yeah. And I was like, I think. And I go, I was breaking your balls, dude. I'm like, it's an obvious fucking sentence. Everybody's against anti-Semitism. 99% of the world, I'd say, is, or, pretends to be. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It's a great sentence. But if you're supposed to be a comic and you're saying that, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
It's
And
the
your
idea
hot
of
take.
I'm not gay, but if I was, you have equal rights. Not gay.
You do that really well, from pop star, Never Stop, Never Stopping, which might be one of the best titles ever.
Very
Super
low-key
underrated
great
comedy.
movie.
And you did the every other word not gay really
Yeah.
good. Can you try it again? I don't want to put you on the spot.
I know.
Not gay, but if it was,
We should have equal rights. Let's get drinks with our friends, not gay. Go to the bar, not gay. Hanging out doing a podcast, not gay. But dude, I love that. But yeah, like, before we get out of here,
yeah.
I do want to. I do have a pretty hot take.
Let's hear it.
Is I feel like, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what your race is, no matter what your sexuality is, I think that you should have access to clean water. And I don't care what. I know there's going to be a lot of people slide into the comment section. There's going to be a lot of people fucking coming at me in my DMs. I don't care. I think everybody should have the right to drink water that doesn't make them sick.
Well, you got to go against the grain and stand up for what's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't even care like if you're Colombian. I don't care if you're a Jewish guy.
You don't care
if
where
you're
you're
a Catholic
from,
guy.
who you are.
I don't care
what
who you
gender
love.
you are.
Oh, gay men? I think gay men should be drinking fucking
Tons of water.
really good tap water.
Yeah.
Strong tap water.
Yeah.
New York City tap.
Like pure tap.
Yeah.
I'd like to take. Can I do one as well? Before we get out of here, I'd
if you
like
got
to.
a fucking take.
Because
I
you
don't know.
really inspired me.
I don't know how you're
You
gonna top
inspired
that.
me to bring up something. It's been on my mind for a while, and I don't know, man. I think with all social media gets out there, and all the people trying to get clout and likes for it. There's no more substance what people believe anymore.
That's fair.
And I just want to get a message out there and say one thing that's been on my mind for so long.
Ooh,
that
preach.
it deserves It deserves to be noticed. Nobody ever talks about this ever, and it's a thing that everybody knows and just afraid to admit. And I just want to take this platform to just turn around and say that chocolate ice cream is delicious. It is just delicious.
Wow.
And you can do whatever you want. You can go do it. You can mention.
That's true. That makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like it's you can say that it's derivative, or I'm repeating something I've seen on the internet.
You're
or
not.
I'm not.
Do you know what you're doing though?
What?
You're making it easier for future generations to come out and speak their minds about this type of topic.
Exactly. I want to pave the way so that you're not
Yeah.
afraid to say what ice cream you like. It's just that when talking about rights, that should be an inalienable right that you just to get in public to say, I like vanilla, I like this. And me personally, I just love chocolate ice cream, and I want everybody to know it. But I think because of society and because of a lot of bullshit and people, because of people not being able to express what they want, I wasn't able to say it before.
You've always been a maverick and not afraid to speak. You've been saying shit like this for 10, 15 years on your blog.
Yeah. One time they called me a disruptor online. They said I was disrupting.
A disruptive innovator.
Yeah. Disruptive. Yeah. And the innovation was in the disrupting. They were like, you're disrupting and innovating simultaneously. So you're a disruptive innovator.
Well, you still frequently update your blog, Step Back and Listen.
Yeah.
.org.
.org.
/
Because it's nonprofit.
blog.
Like I don't keep when I talk about ice cream, any other topics that I have hot takes about, I don't keep any of the money. It goes right back into my foundation.
Yeah.
Step back and listen.
And then your foundation, which is the Step Back and Listen Foundation.
Absolutely.
Which you can donate to. It's the Venmo is actually a little weird. It's different. It's at R Zawodni. And if you just want to Venmo $10 there, it's an acronym that I'll explain later. It's not. I know it sounds like it's just my first initial last name.
I know we did that because we didn't think you were using it, so we figured we'd just use that as.
And that's fine. And that's
Yeah.
fine because I'm here for the cause.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
All
let's
right.
get break
Let's
out
get
of
on
here.
out of here. I'm not gay.
Woo!
All right. Take it easy.
And the podcast not gay.
Not gay.